Hi, this is Louise Legat from the Purpose-Led School, and welcome to this week's short. What I want to talk about today is what do we mean by the new economy? Because in a lot of the shorts that I've been sharing, I talk about the new economy. But what does it actually mean in practice? When I started to be involved in this area 15 years ago, it was more about the concept of sustainability. It was at a time where the SDGs were coming into play in terms of the UN Sustainability Development Goals. And so that was the frame that we were using. And that concept has been evolving over time. And to be honest, when we started, we just thought we were going to do something a bit more sustainable. But as we've walked, what we've understood is the sticky plaster of sustainability is actually not going to be enough. This is a more fundamental change, whether we like it or not. And if you think about different pieces that have been emerging over time, it's also a reflection on that. In the sense that we started with sustainability, and then we had circular economy that started to emerge. We're now talking about regeneration. And what that is a reflection of is how more and more we're realizing what we're actually faced with and what it's really going to take to make the shift that we need to make. And what I found really fascinating is recently there seems to have been a piece around what the new economy really is about that has been emerging. And we had three what I call different groups in this area who it was interesting because the same week they came out with the same term. And what has been coming together is that the idea of this new economy is about the well-being economy. Now, you might think spas, right, when it comes to well-being, but we're talking about something a little bit more deep. What we're talking about is, what does it truly mean to flourish on this planet? What does it mean for you as an individual? What does it mean to do that within the context of others? And what does it mean to do that within our relationship to the planet itself? And so it's a fundamental reassessment of what it means to live on this planet and to live on this planet in a way that actually works. Because if we're on this planet and we're not creating well-being and flourishing, then what are we doing? And within that, of course, there's going to be different stages, which is stage one, just being able to survive, right? The thing is, if we don't understand what it means to be well within ourselves as a human being, within the context that we live in, we're not going to be able to answer any of these issues, even survival issues, in a way that works in the long term or even truly works. And so it is coming back to, what does it mean to be well? What does it mean to survive, to be well, to flourish, to thrive on this planet? What does that mean in terms of how we live our lives, how we do our work, how we do our leadership, how we do our cities, our economies, our homes, our schools? Because what we've built is, well, we didn't fully understand what flourishing actually meant. For the most part, we weren't even focused on that, were we? And so we just created something. And now I know that it can be scary this time. And interestingly, I see a lot of the focus be on things like sustainability or even beyond growth or whatever it is. But what about if this was actually a really exciting time in that it had us come back to looking at our real foundations, the fundamentals of what are we actually doing here? And are we doing something that serves all of us and the planet at a fundamental, deep level? Because who wants to build life, work, leadership, economies, countries based on something that makes us all sick, that destroys us, that harms us? And yes, I know that we are in stages in some places. Some people want to do that. They would just want to focus on what they think is their own well-being at the detriment of the well-being of others. But that's also a misconception. And so I want to offer this to you. Whatever the changes that are coming, and we'll all have levels of resistance. I know I have. And on those days, I just remind myself what this shift is really about is coming back to understanding what well-being means. How we thrive, how we flourish, and how we create that on this planet for ourselves, together for all of us, and in terms of the planet itself. Because we are an intricate part of the system. We are the system of nature. We've never been separate from it. And so our well-being is tied in a profound way to the well-being of the planet. Sometimes what I see is it's a bit like we act like cancer cells in the sense that we have forgotten that we're part of the whole. And so we attack different parts of the system, not realizing that by doing that, we're destroying ourselves. And so what is happening can be a good thing, can be a great, amazing thing, a new renaissance, the phoenix rising out of the ashes. But we've got to frame it and see it in the right way and be brave enough to fully go for it. And as always, I love to know how these shorts land and what you're going to do differently as a result. So please let me know.